Hello friends and welcome to the Cold War Prepper. Tonight we're going to do a book review of a phenomenal book, Cold Times, Preparing for the MIA by Dr. Anita Bailey. Phenomenal book. I got it in February at the recommendation of Ice Age Farmer. I keep a list of books that I want, when people recommend them, and so my family can go here. And I have 2 now scratched off that list so far this year, 3. Confessions of an Economic Hitman, John Perkins, that was recommended by Alaska Prepper. And then this one, and then Jesus and the Dead Sea Scrolls by Dr. John Bergsma. But anyhow, I want to give this just probably one of the best 5 nonfiction prepping books I have in my collection. Just phenomenal, just filled with information. You can tell by the number of tabs that I've got in it, as well as the amount of highlighting that I have in it. So it's published in 2017, a relatively new book. She even mentions a couple YouTube channels that I follow. And then it's 374 pages divided in 12 chapters. And a whole bunch of appendices that are really top-notch. So the 12 chapters are 1, the new reality; 2, the transition to cold; 3, the place, and talking about shelter for the place; number 4, an introduction to food; number 5, water; number 6, food producing your own; and chapter 7 is food, small scale livestocking; chapter 8, keeping warm; 9, power and light; 10, health and hygiene; 11, safety and electricity; 12, what if in the big picture. Now she does, she puts in links, sources, referrals, books, even some motivational thoughts in here every once in a while. To give you an idea, so this is the very first page that I have tabbed, and this is in chapter 1, and she's talking a little bit about barter and and how important the family is, number 1. But when she gets to barter, she says, what is the real value of object X? Well, only what someone else is willing to pay for it. So then in the gray portion, where she has her significant sayings, it says, the real question is, what are the items that retain value no matter what is going on in the world? The real answer is food, water, shelter, and security. And it goes on from there. I want to encourage you to read it rather than me reading it to you. Just a phenomenal book. She gives recommendations for other books. Talks about the transition to cold, when it's going to happen, how bad it's going to get. She talks about the place, and with that, different places are going to be affected at different levels, and how you can protect shelter, or how you can build a shelter to protect you from the extreme cold. From Swiss chalets to igloos to yurts, and how to use passive heat, and just phenomenal information. Then she also has a list of people that would be nice to have in your group, like electricians, plumbers, blacksmiths, auto repair, tractor repair, things like that. Then she also, in talking about food, the basics to food, rules of food storage: don't tell anyone outside your inner circle that you have any foods at all, anyone, and then she has about 7 or 8 bullet points on rules about your food supply. She has a basic list of what it will take to feed one person for 1 year, and it starts off with 50 pounds of powdered milk. So there's all kinds of phenomenal stuff in there. What I like about her is she uses basically the same system I do. So she has that, I've been talking about my system where I have the cards, and I put the cards into a spreadsheet, and the cards are menu-based with the components, and so she does the same thing. So I really like that. I guess that's what enamored me to her, is the 2 of us think so much alike. She talks about the importance of having fats in your diet, how to calculate the support that you need for water, how much weight and how much weight for the food and all kinds of stuff. When we talk about basic foods, she talks about all of the foods that are great to grow in extremely cold weather. You know, beets, potatoes, carrots, all cabbage, and how to save seeds, how to produce those. A word about weeds. I saw somebody had a yard sign and it said, "Weeds free, come pick your own." I thought that was cute. Then she talks about how to build your own extremely cold climate greenhouse so you can have food year round. Let me see here. Small scale livestocking, and the best starter animals. She goes through chickens and milk goats, and I mean just even an introduction into butchering and shearing sheep and weaving wool and oh my gosh, just how to hunt, how to trap, how to stalk prey and stuff like that, and then how to keep warm, especially with dressing, and then other shelters and how to keep yourself warm inside with different techniques, keeping hot water on a hot stove, how to cut and age firewood. She talks about the integration of building your own solar system, your own gasoline generator system, wind power, and hydro. So how you can kind of integrate all those into your new requirement for electricity. In health and hygiene, she has a wonderful. Now remember, she has a doctorate in nursing, and so she is a licensed. What is it? LVN? No, not LVN. She's a doctor's assistant, however what that's called. I did it in the first take, but it didn't record. But she has recommended first aid supplies and over-the-counter medications. She goes into extensive discussion about medications. Oh, physician's assistant, that's what she is. About microbiotics, about how to diagnose, how to treat. She even has the formula, extensive on how to diagnose and treat with antibiotics. I would say that it's up there with Dr. Alton's book. She even has, how to calculate the dosage for a regimen of antibiotics, then how much you need for a group supply for antibiotics and where you can acquire those. She's got recipes, cooking, how to collect wild herbs, how to identify them, hypothermia, frostbite, other first aid things, safety and security. She gives a reference to the Army Field Manual and small unit tactics. She talks about listening posts and observation posts and fields of fire and channeling and just all kinds of great information all in one book. Then she refers to different YouTube channels. Remember, this is only 5 years old, so fairly recent information. Safety tips: never point your weapon at anything you don't intend to destroy, and treat all weapons as if they're loaded all the time. It's just such a wonderful book. And then at the end, after all the chapters, she has all kinds of recipes: how to make your own sourdough starter, how to make your own wine, bread, how to make your own bread, cheese. Gosh, there's just so much information resources, websites. I mean, it's just chock full of information. This, in my opinion, is a must-have for any prepper library. So with that, remember that we're all in this together so we can come out the other side together. Be kind, nice, polite, respectful to each other, because togetherness is the key. Take care. This is Lee, the Cold War Prepper. Bye-bye.